the presentation in itself really simplified Medicare. And so I just take that presentation and I really kind of broke it down just a little bit more. I just go slow through that presentation and I don't make it complex. I don't dig into any big details. If we can keep it on track and keep it very concise and just stick to that simple presentation, it helps everybody in that audience who are all going to be at very different levels. It helps them all understand. And I always just try to think of it as like a fourth grade level. Got to keep things at a fourth grade level.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. I'm your host, Dallas Keithley. And man, what a great week it has been. I'm sitting here on a Friday. It's a Thursday where you are, and we hope that you are having a great week, but I'm recording this on a Friday. That's why I'm saying this has been a great week. We've had some great guests. We had our first Wednesday webinar, our last Wednesday webinar. We did that this week, and we are planning out the next several last Wednesday webinars. Also going to be giving out Tuesday tips every Tuesday. If you would like a tip on how to increase your Medicare business, we may give you a product that you should be using with your Medicare business. We may give you an idea, a sales tip, whatever it may be, something just to motivate you and keep you going. Guys, I have learned, and I've said it on this show many times, I am a guy that has to have, I would say daily, but it's more than that, doses of motivation that help me keep focused, help me keep going, and help remind me what I'm trying to accomplish that day. And that's what we want this to be. We want the Tuesday tip to be just a little reminder that, hey, you're doing a good job, and here's something that can help you increase your playbook, help you increase your Medicare business. So if you would like to be involved in the Tuesday tip or the Medicare last Wednesday webinar, please send us your email, dallas.keithley@medicaresalesplaybook.com. We're not going to try to sell you anything. Everything is for sale, but we're not going to push it on you. Let me just put it that way. So if you would like that, please send that to us. Again, a big thank you to everybody that's been listening, watching, subscribing. We went on the road recently, and it's starting to become a little regular. My head is increasing in size because people are coming up and saying, hey, I know you from the Medicare Sales Playbook. And that's really cool. So if I see you in public, I'll sign whatever you want, man. Just come and point out, tell me that you enjoy it. Tell me you hate it, whatever. I'll still sign something. So want to jump right into the show today. Appreciate you guys listening. We have got a treat for you. I have known these folks for quite some time now. Got to work with them, done some Medicare seminars with them. I've been to their house and eaten their son's cooking. And it was really, really good. And so I've got to know these guys. They are like family. Please help me welcome to the show from Kennedy Wealth Strategies, Mr. John and Jennifer Kennedy. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's awesome to be here, Dallas. Excited to join the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy the Medicare Sales Playbook, so we're thrilled to be here.
And that webinar Wednesday night was phenomenal. Yeah. Casey dropped.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't think she would give her whole presentation away, but she's like, here you go, bang. And she just went through it. I'm like, all right, it's yours to share. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I've been doing Medicare seminars for a long time. I learned a few things that helped me out and stuff, how to yell at people and get them to come back into the room. So
we all need to.
I'm going to start doing that.
So it demonstrates an abundance mindset, right? She's not worried about helping other people out. There's plenty for all of us to go out and help people, right?
Yeah.
So
boy, let's kick off right there because that is good. I remember back when I first got started in the business, and I even remember first when I became a broker, I remember calling people and saying, hey, how are you doing this? Or how are you doing that? And they would say, do I have your contracts? And I'd be like, no. They'd be like, well, then I can't help you. Right? It's a different way of thinking. I think there's a few people in the industry that are doing that. Casey Askins is one of them. Her dad, her brother, Cody Askins is, I believe, plays a major role in that by bringing a lot of people. You guys go to a lot of the 8% events and stuff like that. And I mean, it's kind of cool to see agents that aren't making money off of each other sharing ideas. And so, and I think that's good for the industry.
For sure.
Collaboration always trumps competition, for sure. It just works so much better when you can collaborate. And we just kind of, you can't operate out of a small mindset. You've got to know there's abundance, like John said. So When you can share that, you're going to share your tips with somebody else, but they're going to share their tips with you as well. So
yeah. And really, it just moves the whole industry forward. And so that's a great thing. So we wanted to bring John and Jennifer on because the most impressive thing, the fact that they've got kids that can produce a beef Wellington, and I love y'all. Listen, there are social media people that I follow on social media. I'm a pretty ADHD guy, so I skim pretty quick. But if I see John and Jennifer on there, I'm stopping, because it could be anything from a health tip. It could be anything from their kids cooking something to a kid grabbing a snake. Yeah. And it could be a run through the hills. It's always something entertaining. So if you're not following, look them up. But y'all keep it lively. How are you doing everything there in Chattanooga, Tennessee? How do you keep up? What's the secret to keeping up with family and business and all that? And we're going to get into all that.
You go first.
It's really just organized chaos, right? So we're habitual overcommitters. So, that's part of it. But we do lead a very busy lifestyle. We have 3 kids. The oldest is 13. The twins are 12. They're 11 months apart. All of their different activities. We're very active in our church, and we actually lead small group for student ministry on Wednesdays and are plugged in there. So we have that going on. We run our business. We have an office here in Chattanooga, like you mentioned, and we're very intentional about that. And we just love it all, And I'll tell you, when our head hits the pillow at night, though, it's lights out. It's every day is a long day, busy day. So.
Yeah. We do hybrid homeschool as well, too. So a lot of folks might be thinking, okay, well, while your kids are at school, you're running a business. And it's just, we have an incredible vision for our family, and our kids know our vision and they know where we're going. So it's all in. It's our family business. And right now they really support us in that. When it comes to stuff and folders and different things, we let them be a part of it. We encourage it so that they know that, we're all working towards the same vision and goal.
Wow. I want to tear apart a couple things in there. Let me start at the beginning though here. So have you guys always worked together since you've been married as husband and wife, and what made you decide to, we are going, because there's husbands and wives out there going, maybe we should work together. Maybe we shouldn't. Would our marriage survive working together? What made you guys decide to work together as husband and wife in the same type of business? And maybe are there some things that didn't work that you're like, okay, we got to set boundaries here or whatever? How does that all work together?
I'm going to let her start.
There's rule number 1.
There's rule number 1. So we have not always worked together, and I was incredibly resistant to the insurance arena altogether. I'm still fairly new to it. This is actually my second AEP, so everything is still feeling very like I'm still in a learning phase, right? But when it comes to working together, you have to learn each other's strengths. I think that's the most important thing. You have to learn to communicate really, really well. We have a lot of days that we don't communicate well, and that's what it always comes down to, miscommunication. And so I think learning to communicate well and learning that we can't both quit on the same day is really important. But for me, something that was huge, and I know it's been talked about before, but StrengthsFinders. That was a gift that somebody gave to us about 12 years ago. And we both took the StrengthsFinders exam, which is great. It's a book you get a little code in the back. So you really read the book. If you don't like to read, don't read. But you get the code, you take the exam, and it reads to you, or it shares with you what your top 5 strengths are. And so for us, it was really important to learn what each other's strengths were, because there's times when we're working together and he's asking me to do something that maybe I can achieve that result, but not the way he's asking me to do it, because it doesn't fall in my strengths. And it's really important for us when it comes to communication to know exactly what those strengths are. So John, his strengths, you could probably list off his strengths. He's an achiever. He's individualistic. He has belief. These are some incredible strengths that carries our team with just such courage. And my strengths are in harmony. I don't like to fight. So don't ask me to get into a bad conversation with somebody or a tough conversation. So I really focus on the harmony and including people. And we've just learned how to really dig into each other's strengths in that regard.
So my response is going to be much more succinct. I say yes, ma'am, a lot. Okay, so that's how that goes. So
I'm gonna call his bluff.
But and she says this is her second AEP, but truly, she just got licensed going into her first AEP, so it wasn't really kind of an AEP. Now we have a really nice client base to follow up with this year and stuff. But I also want to give her a ton of credit. She's become very, very good at Medicare and cross-selling in a very short amount of time, because she just dove in and really became a student of the space of the industry. She reaches out to you and some others in the space that have been doing it a lot longer, and constantly gets help when she needs it. So she became an expert at Medicare in a very short amount of time, and I'm super proud of her for that. So.
Wow, that's very cool. So couple things I heard there is, one, learning what strengths are and then feeding off of each other's strengths. And I love that you guys do that. You guys are talking, I've done what you did. You're talking about the Gallup StrengthsFinder.
Yeah.
And that really helped us as a business too, learning how to work with each other. And a lot of times when we don't know what our strengths are, one, we don't know what the other person's strengths are. So we're over here trying to do something we're not good at. We're offending that other person because they're like, hey, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And there's just that imbalance and everybody's pulling and tugging, and you feel like you're working hard, but really in the insurance world, I believe, and I'd love y'all's opinion on this, working smart is a lot more effective than working hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Got that?
Yeah, and I agree. And that boils down to probably maybe even just 3 to 5 key things, right? Who are the people you've surrounded yourself with? Get rid of any toxic behavior or negativity, but who can you plug into to mentor you and coach you? Like the best of the best in any space, whether it's, quarterbacks in the NFL or top golfers or NBA, you look at the best of the best, they all have mentors and coaches, right? So find those people that are a great fit for you. We were blessed when we plugged in where we are with our Medicare space to find that. And I believe God had his hand on it all too, because we were frustrated at that point in time. But, when you plug in like that, you get systems and processes and a combined decades of experience that can help pour into your business and help, kind of lift everything up. So I think that's massively important, for sure.
Mentorship is huge, and having mentors in different areas of your life, not just one mentor to cover everything, but, I've got mentors for business, but I've got mentors for spirituality. I've got mentors for my physical fitness, mentors for my nutrition. You really need to plug into people who are where you want to be and have walked through the muddy waters already.
And Jen, I got to tell you, we were in a conference last week. I don't know why John didn't bring you, but
Yes.
I went to the gym and John was in there, man. And usually when I walk in a gym, I shouldn't tell people this because now people are going to start trying me on it. Whoever's in there, my goal is to stay in there longer than they are. But John beat me that morning because I'm like, I've got to go get ready. I don't know what else I can do in here. I've worked all 4 of my muscles.
With all that hair you got, it took longer to get ready.
Yeah.
It does. Listen, I don't just wake up like this. So you mentioned something else. I want to talk about the family dynamic. You guys have 3 children.
We do.
What are your kids' ages?
13, 12, and 12. Irish.
You said Irish. Wow. Yeah, that is bananas. But you talked about how you got them to buy into the vision.
Yeah.
How, and give us an example if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a long-term vision for our family. I think a lot of people talk about purpose and they think, what's their purpose with work? Well, for us, our vision long-term is to create incredible disciples for Christ, and that we have a beautiful porch that we can sit on and beautiful land that we can, raise cows on and things of that nature. And the kids know that. And it's something that hopefully they get to do with us one day, but they know that's the family vision. The family vision for us is more time together. That's why we've made a big shift in schooling. And so we just have very transparent conversations at their level, right? Age appropriate conversations. And then we share with them different ways that they can help out with the business. And, that's also, our kids have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. They like to buy things. And so they're always wanting money. And so little things, John helps them out with, he has a whole lot of chickens, a whole lot of chickens. And so Kaylin is working on building up an egg business. Well, you don't just get an egg business handed to you. So he works on daily chores and things like that. But when it comes to the insurance business, we've got seminars that are coming up. We're like, hey guys, we have folders that need to be stuffed and some other things that need to be done before this seminar. Who needs to earn some money? Who wants to make some money? And so they'll do that. Before, when they were younger, it were simple things like, having a jar on the table, and we would put coins in a jar if they were quiet while we were on a Zoom. And then you could take them and they could go get gum at the store or different things. And it's just teaching them how to earn and receive rewards. I think it's important. We often forget to reward ourselves. So showing them how to do that.
Not
That's
all
awesome.
kids are money motivated, by the way. Our little girl, she's not going to stuff those envelopes. I don't care.
She thinks daddy's going to buy it anyways.
But the boys, they'll sit there and work for an hour or two and, build out 50 of the folders that we need for the seminars or whatever. And we'll throw them a few bucks and they love it. So, yeah.
That's great. So, okay, we talked about the family dynamic, how you guys work together. Talk to me about what you guys are doing. You've done a great job. Now, with y'all, John is working more on the financial side, doing annuities and IULs and stuff like that. Jennifer's working more on the Medicare side and stuff. So, Jennifer, for the podcast, you've done a great job of building a pipeline, getting in front of people. How are you marketing? How are you getting in front of people?
Yeah, absolutely. So we use seminars as our primary lead source, which means we purchase mailers. We work with a specific company to purchase these mailers. They go out to our folks that are turning 65. And then we have dinner seminars. We host dinner seminars and we present or educate Medicare to them in the most simplest terms so that we can see all the light bulbs start going off in the room. But while we're in the room, my goal is to simplify Medicare for them, but my goal is to really connect with them, to build strong connections. And so while I'm in the room with those folks and I have that captive audience, it's just, I try to stay engaged. I try to have conversations with them before seminars, after seminars. And then I try to remember as much as I can about that specific person so that when I'm sitting in the office with them, I can pull up some of those topics if we talk to grandkids or things like that. So seminars is our primary lead strategy. And then after the seminar, we focus on getting them into the office and sitting down and having a one-on-one appointment with them.
So with the seminars, I know I'm aware of what you're doing, but for the audience, how many are you guys mailing out? If you would break down a month for me, if as much as you want to give, maybe how many you're mailing, what your cost is, what your return is as far as people, and then what are you guys seeing as a return as far as products and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's multiple answers to that question, but the first thing is we found that mailing only 4 months out for our seminars was the best fit for us, and we're in Chattanooga is a smaller city, so we mail a 20-mile radius 4 months out. So that means that they're turning 65 within the next 4 months. So, for example, our September seminars, we're mailing people October, November, December, January birthdays. When we do that, we get just over 3,000 pieces of mail usually, and we mail everybody. We don't scale back on that, and then that gives us, usually we average somewhere around a 1.5% return on the mail. So you can do the math on 3,000, 1.5%. Sometimes it's a little lower. We've had mailers where we've done over 2%, right? But that's kind of how that works out. The cost of that for the mail is usually just under $2,000, 50 some cents a mailer. We usually spend around 1,000 or 1,200 on the dinners for the people that attend. We get really good attendance. Our attendance is usually 90-ish% of the people that reserve. And then we have a pretty high success ratio of getting follow-up appointments. So the profitability is really, it's there. And I love the 4-month mailing because it's a quicker hit. When we first started, we were mailing out 7 months to try to get over 5,000 mail pieces, but you just lose some of the, it's just not that important to some of those people that are like 5, 6, 7 months out. So that's what works for us. And then Jennifer's become very, very good at cross-selling other insurances to help these people, like hospital indemnity, cancer plans, things of that nature. So, you take, if we're talking street at 626 on Medicare, you start folding some of this other stuff in, it's over $1,000 per sale at that point. So that truly adds to the profitability of the business. And she tees up a ton of business for me on the retirement side of things, the retirement planning and stuff like that. So, that's just gravy on top, So.
Can I touch on that for a minute? I think
yes, please.
Sometimes folks, we talk about cross-selling, if you will, or teeing up things for retirement for John's side of the business. I think sometimes people think you've got to be an expert in that area, and I am not at all. And I don't want to be. I just flat out don't want to be. I've got too many things that I'm juggling right now, and I just feel like I don't have the capacity to truly learn that. And so what I do is I use my gifts. I use my strengths. I'm a connector. And so I just learn how to really connect with people and get them to a trusting point. And then I might just ask a simple question about long-term care or something like that. I don't know a whole lot about that stuff. And so that's when I'm like, you have got to talk to John. And now there are times where John and I sit in meetings together. He'll still be doing his other work at the end of the table, but he is strategically placed there so that he can overhear a little bit of a conversation so that he starts to begin to, next time we sit with that client, it might then be because they've chosen to sit back down with him in regards to retirement. But you don't have to be an expert. I really, I choose to just stay in my lane and have learned how to connect people to him. So.
Yeah, let me just touch on that one more thing. So, and just to give some statistics, right? When you talk to the average retiree or that somebody's retiring soon, and everybody that's going on Medicare is either retiring or retiring soon. Maybe they retired early, but their three biggest concerns are running out of money, health and long-term care. Well, health is the Medicare side of it, but long-term care is something that we can solve for them in a very easy way, right? And then taxes and retirement and stuff. Those are kind of the three biggest things that have seniors concerned. So why not layer that into the conversation and then set another meeting to help resolve the long-term care or retirement concerns they have? So, and if you don't know how to do that, partner with somebody that can teach you, right? So.
Yeah, and you guys said a lot there, so I want to make sure we don't miss something. Jennifer, I want to go back in your seminars. You said you use your gifts. My opinion, just watching from the outside, I believe your gifts are, one thing you said, making a complex issue simple. Mm-hmm. And we've heard it said, if you want to make a great living, take something complex and make it simple, right? So if you could speak to that, what are you doing to simplify Medicare? Like, how are you on purpose making that simple for folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the company that we partnered with, do we call it a company or IMO? Yes. IMO. Anyways, we partnered with Mark, which has been a huge blessing for us. In fact, I would not be in this business if it was not for Lassie Mark, and for Brian Askins has just been phenomenal and an incredible mentor. It was his belief in John and incredible conversations and belief in this business that opened my eyes to what was possible. And so with that relationship, we were gifted a lot of different things. And one of the things that is part of that would be an incredible presentation for Medicare. And the presentation in itself really simplified Medicare. And so I just take that presentation and I really kind of broke it down just a little bit more. And I just go slow through that presentation with all of just the very simple points that it has. And I don't make it complex. I don't dig into any big details. If somebody asks a question, I will absolutely honor their question, but I'll also let them know, hey, that's going to be really specific to you. And so let's touch on that after, or I'd love to sit down with you. And so if we can keep it on track and keep it very concise and just stick to that simple presentation, it helps everybody in that audience who are all going to be at very different levels. It helps them all understand. And I always just try to think of it as like a fourth grade level. Got to keep things at a fourth grade level.
Yeah. And, it always baffles me. Whenever we do seminars, people come up to us almost every time and say, you know what, I've been to 7 of these things. And the way you explained it, I finally got it. I want to go ask the other 6 people, what are you doing? Like, are you bringing out just a Medicare new book and reading? Or because Medicare does not have to be complex.
No.
It can be. You can throw stuff in and all that, but 97% of the time it's here's A, here's B, here's what it covers, doesn't cover, and here's how you can cover it. I mean, that's it. I would say your other gift is connectivity. Making sure that you are connecting with that person. You said something earlier about taking notes during a meeting, knowing their grandkids' names and their dogs' names and their cats' names and all that stuff. Talk about what are some things, again, that you are doing on purpose, even during the meeting and then during presentations, to connect with that person.
Yeah.
Because, we've said it 100 times. You're selling the same product that every agent in Chattanooga is selling. So really you're selling yourself.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So people just want to be seen, known, and loved, right? That's what our kids want. They want to know that they are taken care of, they are loved, and that you absolutely see them. And so just pausing in moments and making eye contact with people, I think is an incredible thing to do. Talking to them, using their name as much as you possibly can. We just recently started using name tags so that I can be better about using someone's names. I will actually write on my clipboard as they're walking through. If they share something, I can write a little detail there on the clipboard about them. But really just having conversations and asking them questions that aren't Medicare related. Just finding out a little bit more about them. I think it was actually you that shared with us at one point that when you used to go into somebody's home, you would notice things on the wall. You would notice portraits or things like that, and you would ask about their grandkids and stuff. And so just asking a lot of questions of other people lets them know that you see them and that you care about them. So just ask a lot of questions.
That's great. And then take great notes, I think, is the second part of that, because at least I have to, because I can ask a question. And I mean, even as we're going here, I'm writing down things y'all say just so I remember to come back to it. John, you touched on the cross-selling portion of it. Now, Medicare, I love it how you guys have made Medicare kind of at least on Jen's side, the bread and butter of the business there. But just a rough estimate, how much non-Medicare business, what will you guys make from non-Medicare business in 2025?
Probably just on my side, not her cross-selling, probably at least $350K.
350K. How much of that is coming from Medicare business into it?
I'm just talking about what comes from her side of the business.
Share, how much Medicare business, or how much business have you pulled from our Medicare seminar so far? I think you shared like $3 million in annuities.
Yeah, so through the end of July, we've submitted over $3 million in annuities just from the Medicare side of the business. So
wow.
We'll close out the year stronger than that, is my guess. We got a lot of stuff pending and a lot of follow-up appointments with clients that have significant assets. So I would expect we'll close out the year stronger than what we started, for sure.
One thing that I do at the beginning of seminars, I put up our family photo. Everybody knows they're there for Medicare, but I use that time as an opportunity to really brag on my family. So I brag on my kids, their sports, the things that they're into, snakes, chickens, all that good stuff. But I also brag on my husband, how incredibly good he is and talented he is, and how he serves his clients in so many different capacities. So I have a few of those bullet points up. But I think I, right from the get-go, start to just offer credibility to him so that when somebody does come in our office, they know they have that available to them right from the get-go.
Two things, if I can, Dallas. We did seminars the first week of August, right? And she did. I say we, I was in the room for part of them, but I was hustling kids around to baseball practice and stuff too. But I came back to one seminar and helped her close it out and stuff. And I was talking to two different ladies in that seminar. And both of them, to your point, had been to 3 or 4 other Medicare seminars. And they both said this has by far been the most helpful seminar we've been to. Right. And I think that's just foundationally what Jen's learned from our team with Lasting Mark, and, just the people that pour into us and mentored us to get us started in this, for one. But we've also immediately from that seminar, we had a couple come in the next week and wrote $270,000 in annuity business with them like that, because she did such a great job of edifying me in the conversation. They were just so comfortable with the conversation. So it's important to just have that type of personal, transparent touch and conversation with people.
Those ladies, and they looked hateful. They did not want to be there.
They were grumpy. And then they were
until they saw John.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end, they were so nice. So it's just, a lot of people don't want to be at the seminars, but they warmed
keep
up.
it light.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. Well, I think people come in, and I do too, man. Like, I walk into a department store with a shield up. Like, I'm not going to be sold anything in here, but then it's your job to break that down. It's your job to set people's mind at ease. Every seminar I start with, hey, listen, I can't sell you anything here. So even if you come up to me and say, I want it, I can't do it tonight.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one seminar I was at with you guys. We were in a restaurant. This lady who was not at the seminar, was not attending, was there eating dinner, walks over and goes, man, what are y'all doing here? And John said, we're doing a Medicare thing. She goes, man, I wish you guys did something with people that are on Social Security or needed help with like annuities and stuff. And I'm like, John, who did you sell your soul to for that to happen? Like, I've never seen that happen in my life. Yeah. But it's giving off that approachable vibe and stuff like that. Want to finish with really 2 more questions. Mm-hmm. Are there there's people sitting there, and guys, if you are selling Medicare, like John said earlier, you are sitting in front of people that they have 3 main concerns. Number 1 is, am I going to outlive my money? Number 2 is, am I going to choose the right health insurance? And number 3 is, am I going to stay alive? Mm-hmm. Right? So we can take care of 2 of those. Mm-hmm. But many times, you said the word, Jennifer, conversations. What are some ways that as you're sitting there, are there some specific questions or phrases that you use when you are sitting there talking about Medicare to compliantly get them into a conversation about their long-term care or their annuities or whatever, their pension or 401k, whatever it may be?
Yeah, that's a good question. So primarily I focus on the long-term care side of things, because oftentimes that I can just piggyback that a little bit on skilled nursing facilities and learning if that's an important thing to them. And so I can just kind of touch on it and say, this is something that we can certainly help you with too, if you've got any questions in that regard. But a lot of times, man, it's just folks know because of our business cards. We share a sheet. It's kind of like when you walk into a doctor's office, and it gives a whole variety of the different services that are in your suite. So we have them fill that out. We also have them fill that out at the seminars, and it gives us an idea of what their interest levels are and where those speed bumps for them might be. And so then from there, we can just set some time aside to connect with them on those topics. Compliantly, you have to have that in a separate meeting. And so just knowing what your schedule is and being ready to book that next meeting. And I think a lot of times, the following week at the same time is ideal, because obviously that time frame worked for them now. So being able to do that. What are some other ways?
I think that's the biggest
you take
thing.
A lot out from people.
Yeah. So Jen kind of touched on it. We have that cross-selling sheet. It's basically every way that we can help them in their life. And that's the way we put it. Hey, here's all the ways that we can help you with your financial picture, your health and wellness picture. So take a minute, fill this out for us. And they get that put in front of them every time they walk into our office, whether they've been here 1 time or 10 times, right? And then, people eventually, as we build that relationship and the trust, start bringing more opportunity in front of us. So it's not necessarily always the first appointment, but after they've been with us for a little while, it opens the doors to other things for sure.
Awesome. Good stuff. And guys, we've given away that Medicare Sales Playbook cross-selling sheet. You guys have that sheet. If you would like that, send me an email, dallas.keith@medicaresalesplaybook.com. I'll send you the sheet that they use. That has been a game changer in a lot of people's business, I believe. So I want to wrap it up with this. Obviously, you guys work together. I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. You guys work together. You guys spend a lot of time together. There are going to be times, I imagine, maybe I'm wrong. You can lie and tell me I'm wrong, but maybe there are times when there is friction, right? There's a day when, you blew this sale and I laid that up for you or whatever it may be. Now I know in the Kennedy household, I have learned that shoes are the love language, right? Buying pairs of shoes. And all that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Forget the flowers, shoes, man. If someone says, you know what, I don't know when that friction comes between it gets my business friction rubs over into my relationship friction. Are there any key things that you guys have learned to lessen the friction is the best way I can ask that question.
I'd like to know, John.
Man,
John, I feel like I just broke bro code or something here. I set you,
well, I'm
set you up to fail.
Yes, ma'am, again. And if you've ever seen her work out in the gym, you'll know why I have that response. But
yeah,
no, it's truly, and there's times where I just have to apologize because, it's easy to assume or come to the wrong conclusion. And, it's easy to be offended when something doesn't go the way as expected. That's a good book, by the way, Unoffendable by Brant Hansen.
Oh, amazing book.
Yeah.
But it's really just, we have to give each other grace, but here's probably the most important thing, and we're not always good at it. We have to make time for ourselves that's not business or kid related, right? Date nights, for example. Super important. So we can just kind of have that alone time and just kind of focus on that part of our relationship. I think that's super important. Jen already touched on understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think strengths and gifting is synonymous, right? So, understand our gifts and our strengths, and really just having appreciation for that. And if you approach every day and try to approach every aspect of every day with gratitude, like keeping this attitude of gratitude, it's kind of hard to throw barbs and be too frustrated. So those are kind of things.
Listen, we're together all the time.
All the time.
Every day, all day. Every day we're together. But like yesterday morning after the workout, we went rucking. We do 3 miles in the mornings, and I just said
after the workout.
After the workout, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I said, look, I feel like you're really frustrated. I feel like I'm dropping the ball somewhere. This is how I feel, and we just had a conversation. So many people are afraid to communicate because they're afraid of the answers. And it's like you have this conversation in your head and you never invite the other person in. And so I think just having those conversations might feel like a tough conversation, but it's going to be so much better. There are some times where I might tell John, hey, I didn't like the way you said this because it made me feel like this. And he'll be like, I didn't mean that. And it gives him an opportunity to, if necessary, apologize. No, I'm just kidding. But it's communication. Communication is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Effective communication, not yelling, not speaking enthusiastically, but just communicating and allowing the other person to respond.
Yeah, if you have to say, I wasn't yelling, you were, right?
Yelling.
I've heard that before. So,
real quick,
yes, sir.
A couple of things, and this is a huge blessing for us. Number one, we've never fought about money, even when money situations have been crappy.
Oh, we've cried about money for sure.
We've never fought about money because, we trust in the Lord. We know things are going to take care of themselves and they'll be resolved. But we also believe if we put our heart in the right place for our clients and we're client-centered, the money will ultimately take care of itself, right? As far as how business works. So that's a big part of it. And also, you said something, and like I've never like cussed or yelled at Jennifer, right? I don't see any point in it. So just like keeping it like it's just got to be very conversational. So
There's my
she
mom
yelled.
used to say, "Yeah, oh, I've been there." No, I'm just kidding.
I probably yelled at you.
Yeah. A bold text, maybe, as far as I've got. No, my mom, we had verses in our house that I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, that I absolutely hated, right? Because they were like the ones mom and dad use, but one of them was, Dallas, a soft answer turns away wrath, right? And so just that as you approach it, you know that it's coming back at least that level. So
Yeah.
that may be, we may do another Medicare marriage counseling podcast soon. But for today, that's where we'll leave it. Guys, if someone is looking for a mentor, right? Like we don't ever want this to be a recruiting podcast or all that, but there are people out there that are like, man, you guys mentioned mentors early on. You guys have mentors. You said Tiger Woods had a golf coach or a swing coach. Michael Jordan had Tim Grover. If someone's looking for a mentor, you guys don't work with everybody, right? You're choosy. You have a culture you're trying to protect. But if they wanted to reach out to you, what is the best way to reach out to y'all?
Yeah, email would be the best way. My email is Jen, Jen, at kennedyws.com. So for Kennedy Wealth Strategies. But that's definitely the simplest, best way to get a hold of us. So in our team, it's incredible. We have a lot of fun. We just got off of our Friday morning meeting, and our Friday morning meetings consist of updates, encouragement, some training, followed by what we call holy grounds. And so it's an opportunity for the team. Anybody that wants to stay on, we do a Friday morning Bible, discipleship, and prayer group together. So it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. Great stuff today. I was going to say, I hope this has helped. I know this has helped somebody. It's helped me, right? So I appreciate y'all, and we can't wait to keep working with you guys for years to come.
Thanks,
Glad to
Dallas.
be here. Thanks, Dallas.
You bet. Guys, like I said, I know that you picked something out of that. I say this almost every broadcast that we do, every podcast that we do. Everything that you heard now, if you don't go apply it, it's not worth anything, right? You can learn and you can grow and you can write down and all that stuff. But if you don't apply, it's not worth anything. So I would encourage you, sit down for a couple minutes, have some quiet time, sit down, look. If you took notes, if you're driving in the car, that's okay. Just think about what you've heard today and think. The thought is, how can I apply this to myself, my business, my relationship? What can I do to take a step forward? Because like I said, that's our goal here at Medicare Sales Playbook, is to help you take a step forward. Our good friend Rocky says, have some grace and have some space. We want to hear from you. What are you doing to move forward? Because you see, when you reach out to us and say, hey, here's something I did. I took this from your podcast and did this and this and this. It doesn't just help us. We share that with people on the podcast, and we share that with others that are out there trying to make it in this business. And man, you have no idea when you comment, when you post, what it does for other people. So we love to hear from you. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, all the stuff the cool kids are doing. We will see you next time on the Medicare Sales Playbook.